Resigned. I will not be pushed, filed, stamped, indexed, briefed, debriefed, or numbered. My life is my own. I resign.
Welcome everybody to the channel. If you're new, you're welcome. Welcome everybody to the channel. If you're new, you're welcome. This is me in my car again doing another video for you. Basically, obviously, as I said before, the snooker on the BBC television has started. Of course, unfortunately, I have to go somewhere else to watch it because I'm not allowed to watch it in my premises because I don't have a TV license. So I'm going to my friend's house and going to watch the snooker, which is fine because the thing is, folks, the BBC have this monopoly on sport in general. Obviously, they have the snooker every year. This time of year, every April, they have the snooker on, and it's a big thing, you know. And some people like it, some people don't. You know, that's how it is. But of course, if you haven't got a TV license, you can't watch it. You know, that's the, you know, some things, like if you haven't got a license, things you like to watch, you can't watch, and that's what it's about. But why you can't watch it? Because you haven't got a license. But I have to go somewhere else. But that doesn't really bother me because it's only once a year it comes about. And what I've noticed when I was at my friend's house last night watching some snooker last night, there's so much advertising now. Advertising, all this advertising you get. It's the tournament of Halo tournament and everything else. The players have got things on the shirts and stuff like this, and all the waistcoats and all the rest of it. And it's blatantly, in the course of the charter, which is going to be renewed in 2027, it's one thing that's been relaxed. They don't really, the cameras have to avoid it as much as possible. I mean, some places when the screen comes down, there's a big advertisement there of this company, and you know, till that happens, you know, somebody complains about it, that they're advertising on BBC television. You know, who cares? Nobody really cares about it. But like I said, that's the thing, you see, in the charter coming up in 2027, in a few years' time, BBC could advertise. They could get the old terrestrial channel. That's everything, you know, BBC One, BBC Two, BBC Three, Four, all the local channels on the license, terrestrial channels, could all have advertisements. And like ITV, it would be just the same on ITV and Channels 4. Why they don't do this? It's that we don't need a license. You just watch, you know, watch television like you're watching ITV with adverts. And of course, the BBC own other companies. UK Gold, they own. I'm not sure other companies. They got their fingers in on BBC Studios. BBC Studios are linked with other companies and stuff like this, and that's all we can find out about BBC Studios because it's very, very hush-hush. And of course, the BBC iPlayer eventually should be able to go on subscription, and it could be a situation where you pay £4.99 a month, something like that, or £9.99 a month for adverts, with or without. You know, if you're watching BBC with adverts, you're going to pay a fiver. You don't want adverts, you pay nearly £9.99. That's a sensible way to go with the iPlayer. But luckily, my mother and father, who are in the 90s, have a TV license, of course, and I normally go down there to watch it, so I don't miss anything really. If I want to watch a match, I can always go somewhere to watch a game of snooker on the BBC. So I'm not watching it, of course. But anyway, I do miss it, of course. It's sadly, it was a time of the year when this time last year when the tournament was on, my brother passed away in hospital, and sadly, it does choke me up a bit now, because every time I watch the snooker, I have memories of my brother who had pneumonia, just like this Pope who's just passed away recently. He had pneumonia, and they couldn't stop the pneumonia taking him. His heart couldn't take the situation, so he passed away. But sadly, the day he passed, I went to see him, and the next day he was gone, and it was as simple as that. His heart couldn't take the pneumonia. So it's always a sad thing when I see the snooker, but it does remind me of my kid brother. Sadly, you know, one of the last days I ever saw him, you know, last in hospital. Eventually, like I say, we never know how cancer can take people. It takes things in different ways. You know, he had side effects from his throat cancer, and like I said, that was probably one of the side effects, that he had pneumonia. And of course, he passed on, and that's what happens in life. You know, you have complications, and I always remember the guy, which was a great fan of, the Naked Gun. Trying to think of his name offhand now, but he was living in California. California, beautiful sunshine every day in California. It never rains in California. Of course, he got pneumonia, and Nielsen, his name was, the Naked Gun. Great guy he was, very, very funny. I did some videos on him on some short, but he had complications. He got pneumonia, and as I said, it's immune system which takes everybody. If you got sort of things bad with you, you know, it's your immune system which sadly takes you. So that's another part of the channel, anti-smoking, really, and vaping, because especially for kids, you know, I mean, if you're old enough, you're over 18, if you want to do this, it's up to you. You know, you've got a life to do to put. But as I'm into my 70s now, I've been in reasonably good health all my life, really. I've been lucky in aspects. I've had one or two problems, one or two scares recently about some infections and stuff like that, in sort of, you know, one or two things I don't want to talk about on the channel, but luckily I've survived one or two scares about one or two things, mainly having no brains. But of course they can't do a brain transplant at the moment, can they? You know, they can't do any brain transplants, which would be nice. You know, I'd have Einstein's brain. That'd be better. Einstein's brain, yes. And you know, we'd be living on Mars by now. But anyway, like I say, yeah. I mean, so I'm trying to get more views on the channel, get more popular topics and stuff like that, because I can't really just keep doing about the TV licenses all the time. So that's coming up on the channel, is and you can leave your comments down below if you whatever you think about vape. And that's the channel here is for people to chat about, and I'm maybe going on more, maybe in the future, maybe doing one or two live shows with some people talking about things. But it's just something different. So anyway, well, I will be watching the snooker later on at my friend's house, and watching a bit of snooker, and maybe tomorrow I'll be going to see my mother and father and watch the snooker there. But of course, things may change in 2027 when the BBC will suddenly wake up that they could get more revenue by having the iPlayer with adverts and go on a subscription, and you know, I could probably watch the snooker on the iPlayer, you know, come April. I wanted to have it for April, just for 1 month. You know, I want to pay like Netflix or Disney or Prime TV or you know, all the channels you can, you know, Paramount and stuff, like all these new channels that you pay a subscription on. That's what you can do. You can have it when you want and cancel the agreement anytime you wish, and you know, that's what it's about. And of course, then they'll get extra revenue, you know, to make programs and make good programs, because if you don't like something, you don't want to pay for it, so eventually you'll stop paying. You cancel your subscription, so it will make them forcibly make better programs. And of course, they do make good programs sometimes, BBC, don't get me wrong. I'm not here to slag them off in a respect that they're crap. They're not great. They've lost all the respect over the years for good news reporting and stuff like this and everything else. They've lost a lot of respect over the years. But they can win that back by the public saying, yeah, you know, we want better quality programs, better reliability. And of course, as we know, that's what it's all about. And people will come back and watch. Anyway, folks, thanks again for all the new people who subscribe to the channel. It's great to sort of have a chat to you. And the sun's coming out. It's a nice little day, afternoon. And I hope you had a good Easter. And of course, obviously, hopefully the sun comes out a few more times. And I'll be seeing you on the next one. Bye for now. Bye now. Bye.